Hello, Conquerpreneurs, and welcome to another Conquer class tonight in the open house. We are celebrating National Women's Small Business Month all month long, and we've had some phenomenal speakers come on so far to share with us their expertise and genius. And all of these women are women that I know personally, that I've done business with, that I've seen how they do business. So I am honored to have them here to share with you all about how to improve your mental wealth and your business. So tonight we have with us Miss TJ Halsey, and she is joining us to talk about her business as well as help you understand how to run your business better. Now, I'll let you know how things will go so you know how to participate. We definitely like participation here. It's great for us to keep things interactive. So go ahead and share your name, your business in the comments. And if you have questions along the way, you can also put them in the comments as well. So welcome, TJ.
Hi.
All right, so TJ, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Seneca, for having me here tonight. I'm honored to be a guest here in the Conquer Network. And I will go ahead and introduce myself. So my name is TJ Halsey. I am the owner and CEO of Legacy Wealth, and that is Legacy Wealth Financial Group. And basically, we are a small but powerful strategic practice where we help entrepreneurs and small business owners create, build, and sustain wealth while leaving a lasting legacy.
Okay, so I'm really glad that I have you here, that we have you here, because many of us started a business and we were super excited. Like, remember when you first got the idea to start a business and you were like hyped and excited, like, yeah, I'm starting a business, but you're really only thinking about the passion and the excitement of doing the thing you love to do. And
Absolutely.
then what happened after? You're like, wait a minute, I got to deal with like this, business, like the boring stuff, like the business stuff. And
a lot of stuff.
Setting up the structure and all of that. And
or not.
And then for some of us, we get really nervous and we get like really anxious, and then we don't know how to move forward. We don't know where to start or where to begin. So I'm glad that we have you here to talk about this. So many of the business owners in the Conquer Network already are in business. They've already incorporated, they've already started the business up. What are some things that you think, especially if they started it on their own? You know how we can go online and we can start our own business. What are some things that people may miss and they need to make sure are in place?
Okay, well, let's just take a step back. So when you're talking about getting out there, getting started in business, even though many of us may feel like we are seasoned in some ways, sometimes there are things that we may not think about that could impact us. It could be something in business from an intellectual property standpoint where you don't have protections in place. It could be something like if you do have branding and intellectual property and a presence where people know who you are, you have a following, you have a brand, but you may have some intellectual property that you want to protect, but not necessarily you may not have necessarily done that. You have to think about infringement, possible infringement. I mean, ideally, I think I heard a lawyer say one time, you want to have a brand that people want to copy. That means that you are doing something right? And that's fine if people want to try to take what you have and make it their own. I mean, they always say there's not necessarily an original idea, but if you're going to do that, do it the right way. Make sure you have protections in place so that if someone does infringe, whether intentionally or not intentionally, that you would be able to approach the situation, just depending on what it is, in the right manner. So, just to be a little bit more specific, when I started my business, one of my first businesses I started was a cleaning business. I thought, no overhead, because I'm running a business where we're cleaning, we're doing commercial and we're doing residential cleaning. I just went out there and got started. I mean, I didn't put any formal structure around it. I just thought, oh, this is easy. I think I put an ad up on Groupon, if y'all remember Groupon and everything. Yes. And out the gate, literally when we hit the go live button with Groupon and they cut the ad on, I think we made about 13,000 in sales in less than 4 hours.
What?
And so, you know, and my late husband, he called me and he said, "Hey, have you looked at the Groupon dashboard?" And I was like, "No, what's going on?" He was like, "Look at it." And so, and I had to call, we had so many sales. Okay, we're talking $13,000 for houses. And you know, some people in the commercial at the time, that was not a part of the Groupon platform. But so I had to call Groupon and ask them to shut it down. Like, shut it down, time out. They were like, "No, we have a contract." So clearly I didn't read my contract. I was not prepared. It was a good problem to have and a bad problem to have. One, I did not really clearly review my contract, stating that once they start the ad to run, it's going to run for 2 days, 3 days, whatever it was. So the first thing I would say is agreements are very important. Now, this is for the business owner that is currently in business, because you said the majority of your members in the Conquer Network are already existing business owners. So I'm not necessarily starting with the basics. This is assuming that you already have a business in place. Many of us are working cross-functionally. We're working with teams. We're working with in collaboration with other business owners. You know, you want to make sure that if you are in partnership with anyone, if you're doing any joint ventures, there's a lot of collaboration going on today in today's digital commerce, right? So you want to make sure that you have agreements and that you understand these agreements that you have. Look at the contracts. Anything that you're agreeing to do or that you're asking someone to do for you, if it's a paid service or if it's a bartering situation, still have an agreement for it. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have agreements, right? So that was my problem. I had an agreement that I didn't review. And we were growing. This is one day, a launch, but it was just me and my husband at the time. We didn't have a team. So we were like, how are we going to manage this? We want to cut this off because we need to be able to have, growing is great. Scaling is great. Growing too fast when you are unprepared is not great. Right. So you don't want to get out the gate and look bad because you're not able to fulfill your, you know, whatever you've agreed to, you know, in a contract situation. So that's something to think about. But that's, you know, so I would think about a lot of the pain points that I have. And I would say, you know, I don't ever want another entrepreneur or someone starting out in business to go through something that I went through if I can help prevent that. Right. Another situation that I would think of, this is just real talk, right? I'm being transparent. I'm sharing some things that I think people might be able to relate to. From a taxation standpoint, some of us may have an LLC, some of us may have a C Corp, some of us may be operating as a sole proprietor, some of us may have elected to be taxed as an S Corp. Whatever business structure you have, you need to understand why you are selecting that business structure. Don't just arbitrarily go out and start a business and form it, you know, put a formal structure around it, but you don't have an understanding of why you're doing that or the strategy around what that structure is going to do for you. So basically in my business, Legacy Wealth Financial Group, like I said, we are a strategy firm. And we work with small business owners around strategy. We look at what is the health of your business, you know, putting your finger on the pulse of your business. What is it? Is it good? Is it bad? Like, are you thriving? Are you like, where are you? Is it a faint pulse? Is it a strong pulse? Like, what is it? So I am a principal in the company. So I am a legal strategy and business success coach. So that is what we do. I am a lawyer. I do not practice as an attorney anymore, but I do have a JD and an LLM in financial services and taxation. So I have a specialization in taxation. So when I'm working with businesses, I really try to stress, not as their financial advisor, not as their CPA, not as any of those things. That is not me. I am not registered with the SEC, and I'm not trying to be anybody's attorney. So that's my disclaimer for tonight. But what we do is we look at the strategy around where are you trying to go with your business? Are you trying to create a brand that is sustainable? Are you just in it for a hobby? If you are, great. Maybe you just continue to operate as a sole proprietor, no problem. But if you are, in my mind, I think nobody starts a business to go out of business, right? If you're starting a business, it can be very overwhelming. That's why we're here in the Conquer Network, to reduce or eliminate the overwhelm. But from a business standpoint, you can significantly reduce the anxiety that you have around business if you, one, understand your why. Why are you in business? What is it that drives you to want to get up every day and go full throttle with your business? What is the impact that you hope to have? What type of influence would you like to make in terms of making your mark in this world? Or what income potential would you like to have? So, kind of start there. And you can do that at any phase of business, whether you are beginning as an entrepreneur and you're just kind of testing the waters, or whether you are a seasoned small business owner, or whether you are at a point in business in your revenues that you're trying to scale up and hire a team to make your business more sustainable. You can always put your finger and check the pulse of your business. So that's kind of what we do. And we do that in a number of different ways, but that's just kind of some of the things that I would just wanted to point out, when you're at a business, in a business at any level, always do your checks and balances to make sure that where you started out and the strategy that you have around where you want to go, that you're on point and you're, headed in the right direction. Some people call it an exit strategy if you have to have an exit strategy. Some people just look at it as a roadmap to where it is that you're trying to go with starting your business or running a business. So I hope that kind of helps. I can't hear you.
I was off mute and I didn't want to interrupt. So thank you for that breakdown. And you shared some things, right? So I'm just going to go over what you shared just in case anyone missed it. And welcome. I see you, Clarissa, you're here. Thank you for, coming in. Simply Complex Therapeutic Services. And Sharita says, that's really good advice. I just assumed go with LLC and had no clue what else to call myself on the paperwork when I filed with the state. So yeah, that's definitely great. So we went over the IP, your intellectual property. We need to protect that and make sure that there are contracts and agreements in place and that you read your contracts and agreements. And you shared your example. I'm kind of curious now to know, TJ, what did you all do when all those orders were coming in on Groupon?
So I have to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. What we did was they made a mistake, which I didn't realize they made a mistake. Anyway, it was a residential cleaning contract that we had, right? So in a nutshell, Groupon made a mistake because when they ran our ads, see, today, this will be equivalent to like maybe a Facebook ad or something like that. Or maybe having someone take what you're doing and put it out to their list, like a JV partner. Yeah. So in this scenario, Groupon was my JV partner. No one knew me, but Groupon had a huge following, right? So when they ran my ad, we started getting, we couldn't accommodate that. It was just me and my husband. We had it was just he and I. We had kind of vetted out some people to see if they would be potential team members. So we knew we had at least 2 team members. That is a lot of houses to clean. Yes. So Groupon, they went and they basically shut down the ad for us after I explained, hey, we cannot accommodate. Something is not right. But unfortunately, that kind of soured the relationship. This is why it's very important. Like, this is just some real transparency for you, because when you have a relationship that you really want and you go and you do something that is, it was a mistake. It was an honest mistake, but it kind of sours the relationship. That can be an unfortunate situation if you can't come out of it and rise above it. Fortunately for me, we were able to revive the relationship. But they were just, we ended up having to cancel that ad. We had to honor the people who purchased that, purchased the service with us, because they paid. That was a prepaid situation. So we had to honor that. It took us a year. I'm just gonna be honest. It took us a year to honor some of those that came in. And we just ended up, we ran that business for a while. We did really well. It was pretty successful, but I was working a full-time job at the time. My husband was working and we thought this could be a residual income situation that we could just hire teams to do for us. Anyway, didn't work out.
This is what happens though, right? Like we go through things in business and then we learn, unfortunately, the hard way, like, oh, that's how that was supposed to work, or I'm not good at it. So I've had situations where I've made business decisions where I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done it that way.
We worked that business. It was good. Like it was good. We ended up even after the Groupon fiasco, we just decided we would do our own marketing, just to kind of grow it at a pace that we could accommodate. We did well. We ended up expanding into commercial, so that worked out really well for us. And that was my first business out the gate. I did it with my husband because my husband was always, and he was a hospitality, he had a background in hospitality, and so he kind of rose up through the ranks in the hospitality industry. So going into this was a seamless process for him. I was panicking. He wasn't. He was very calm. My husband was had a financial background. He had a master's degree in finance. He was actually working on his CPA, and he was the for his company that he worked for, his 9-to-5, he was the controller. So if you know what that is in finance world, that's like doing numbers, auditing, and whatever they do. Okay. So he was fine with it, but I was freaking out.
Okay, so you all were able to work through that and it was resolved. You just had to, fulfill what was promised. Got it.
We did, because you want to honor your promises, because you want to have repeat business. So that model that we were going for was not sustainable for us. So we ended up dissolving that business. But it was a good experience for us. We were young. It was our first time in, trying our hand at being an entrepreneur, and it really taught us a lot of valuable lessons.
Okay. So if anyone has questions, you can put that in the chat box. It is up. If you watch this on the replay and there's anything that you think of, we can, put that in the box too. And then also TJ is going to provide her information so you can contact her if you have a question about anything we've talked about already. I actually do have a question, and if you want to come off mute, you can too. I do have a question about the intellectual property, because so many people are online now promoting that. They will do trademark for you. They will do copyright. They will do this. They will do all these things.
Right.
And I remember hearing like conflicting information. Like once upon a time, people would be like, oh, you don't need that right away. Like you start your business first, you do what you're doing, you build your brand, and then you do that. And then I've heard the school of, if you think of an idea before you even start that business, before you get incorporated, you should protect that. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so this isn't legal advice, but I do want you to look at two different sides of the coin. Whoever you heard that from, they're both right. They're both right. But the thing is, if you are just starting out, right, the whole purpose of intellectual property protection, meaning you're registering your trademark, is so that in the event, somebody infringes upon your mark, whether it's your logo, your tagline, your business, your brand, whatever it is that you've trademarked, if someone infringes upon that, you want to be able to defend that. The first thing people would typically do is just do a cease and desist, send a letter, a takedown notice. Like if somebody's, using your copy and they've put it on their website and they're promoting it and they're monetizing your content, then if you have those protections in place, you can officially like say, hey, just want to let you know, I know that you are using my material. I'm not sure if you understand that this is trademarked material or copywritten material, but in the event that you don't know, I just want to let you know, you need to take that down. It's my material. Okay. So you can be nice about it. But if they don't, and they continue to, if they persist in their, whatever it is that they're doing with the infringement, then you want to send a cease and desist. And that typically will come from your attorney. Obviously, when you engage with an attorney, that's money. So the point I'm trying to drive home here is the whole purpose of trying to protect your brand utilizing a trademark is so that you protect yourself and so that you can provide others notice that may or may not be aware that they are infringing on your mark, right? But if you have to take it a step further, then that could be litigation. And that is very, very, very expensive. And one good example is, and I don't know the name of the company off the top of my head, but it's Kim Kardashian right now is in a federal trademark lawsuit against this young African-American female somewhere in, I think, upstate New York somewhere, who had a brand before Kim K came out with her skin brand. This young lady already had the name. And because it is in the same type of category or industry, because with a trademark, you have to register it within a particular category, they're battling this out in court. Obviously, Kim K's money is a whole lot longer than this lady's. It's a whole lot long. And it's unfair that sometimes money can trump someone who really had proof that she was already marketing her brand in the stream of commerce for years. And then here comes Kim K, she's got name recognition, brand recognition, money long as I don't know what, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So 2 schools of thought, going back to those people that you said you should protect it out the gate. Sure, that's great in theory. Get on out there. If you know this is a brand that's going to be sustainable and you're going for the gusto and you want to build it, scale it, keep it around, leave a legacy, great. But understand, if you don't have the money to protect, if you had to be in a situation where you had to litigate your brand to keep someone else from infringing upon that, I mean, you might lose the case anyway, because you can't go to court. You can't afford it. So I don't know that if you are just starting out, this is something that you just want to go, I'm going to go and trademark. I mean, I'm not sure that you want to do that, because that defeats the whole purpose if you can't afford to defend it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know, I'm gonna say, I don't know if we're running out of time now, but that was just one thing to think about. On the other hand, on the other side of the coin, if you can, and you have a protectable mark and you're ready to go and defend it, then sure, you may want to go outside of what you would normally not do and go ahead and put some trademark protections around it. I would say I guess an inexpensive way to protect your trademark is just to use the TM symbol, because that is what's called common law trademark. If you put out a course, if you're a coach, you're putting out content, if you're a YouTuber, any kind of influencer, if you're doing anything in the online space or whatever it is that you're doing to market your services and your branding, just make sure that you put that TM to say, hey, this is my content, this is my brand, this is my intellectual property, I'm the creator, okay, of this material. Go ahead and put the TM symbol, because what that does is it puts people on notice that you are saying, this is my mark and I am using it in the stream of commerce, and common law wise, it's mine. You can do that. Okay. Now, when you actually register that trademark with the USPTO, that's when you get the R. The TM then turns into an R with the circle around it, and that becomes a registered trademark. And that means that you have official protections from the USPTO around that brand.
Okay. So I know that for your business, how you support people, you have a specific method that you use. I believe it's called the L.I.F.T Method. Would you like to share with us how you support those who work with you?
Absolutely. So you remember how I said, at any phase of business owners should always check the health of their business, right? So I do that when I'm consulting with businesses. I use this assessment called the L.I.F.T strategy. And what is that? That's basically an acronym, and I can't take credit for it because I had a coach. We all should have coaches and mentors, right? But basically, it's called the L.I.F.T strategy, L-I-F-T, and L.I.F.T is an acronym for legal, insurance, financial, and taxation. Because at any phase of business, you want to make sure that you have those important foundational protections in place, whether you're starting out, whether you've been in business for a little while, or whether you are a seasoned business owner making millions of dollars. Always have a L.I.F.T strategy in place. Your foundation is great when it's solid. If it's built on a stack of cards, it's going to fall down, right? So legal, insurance, financial, and tax. What do I mean by legal? Basically, start with your structure. Make sure if you're a sole proprietor, you need to understand there is no protection around a sole proprietor. The government, in terms of the IRS, is looking at you as though you just have a hobby, right? You're operating under your social security number. You're filing taxes as an individual when you're operating as a sole proprietor. No protection. If something happens, if you do something in business and someone is injured, and not necessarily physically injured, but it could be another injury, like in business, a contract breach, it could be anything, then guess who's going to be on the hook? You're going to be on the hook. And if you're a sole proprietor with no protection, that means that not only can they come after you for the business that you claim to be doing and the money that you're making from that business or from those efforts, but they can also come after you personally for your personal assets. So that's the reason why a lot of people don't stay in the sole proprietor bucket. So from a legal standpoint, the L in L.I.F.T is legal. So anything that encompasses legal, whether it's structuring your business, whether it's putting intellectual properties around your IP, your whatever your branding is, whether it's if you're a writer, if you've got some kind of written content, a book, whatever it might be, if you don't have it copywritten, go ahead and do your copyright. Now there's a common law where you can use your copyright, say, hey, this is my content, put the little C with the circle around it, then understand that that is your brand as well. Other things, legal agreements. So those are just some of the things that I mean by legal in the L.I.F.T strategy. That's just a few. There's so much more. Okay. Now the I, get your insurance. Get your E&O, errors and omissions. Get your, whatever you're doing, your home, your auto, your business, whatever it is. If you have property, a lot of people are getting into real estate investments. Get your insurance. Make sure those things are solid, because what you're trying to do is say, in the event something happens, I want to take the liability off of me and I want to have coverage. I want to make sure that if I can't afford to pay somebody for the breach, then I have insurance that will take care of it, So that's insurance on all levels of insurance. The financial piece is make sure you understand your numbers. No one in your business should understand your numbers better than you. I don't care if you have a bookkeeper. I don't care if you're using QuickBooks and it does everything electronically. It doesn't matter. You need to understand the numbers. You need to understand what's going on in your business. Have a finger on the pulse of your business. Check your business health at every phase using the L.I.F.T strategy. Okay. So that's just one. Bookkeeper, CFO. Some people are doing fractional CFOs. So some people are full-time CFOs, but they'll come and they'll work the books in your business and make sure that everything is above board. A lot of times they'll work with your CPA or your accountant or whatever it might be. But that's the F. That is the financial piece in the L.I.F.T strategy. And then lastly is taxation. When you go into your business, when you're operating your business, as you grow, as you scale, as you become, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it might be, you're going to get in a different tax bracket every time, right? So you want to make sure that you are working with your CPA, your accountant, whoever is managing your books, your whole team, your F team, your financial team, okay? They should be working in concert with your tax professional, because you want to make sure that the government is not taking more out of your purse or out of your bank account than they need. And I guarantee you, they will do it. They will do it if you're not paying attention, if you don't know what's going on. When they told me in law school, ignorance is no excuse for messing up, the same thing with tax. The government doesn't care. They will assess and levy a tax against you, and you will be responsible for that tax, even if you did make a mistake. And you better hope that you can abate it, because if you can't, you're going to be on the hook for that. So L-I-F-T, always understand where you are in your business, utilizing the L.I.F.T strategy. And if I can give you more information on what that looks like in the roadmap, I'll be happy to share that with you to have an additional conversation moving forward. Did that help?
So let's see, did that help?
Let me take myself off mute. Hold on. Look, when I tell you that I have so many notes, I can't come off camera, but L.I.F.T, like I was singing the song like L.I.F.T strategy.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. So I was rapping it.
That's what's
Legal,
up.
insurance, financial, and tax information. In addition to, of course, the trademark, the common law to registered trademark. As I was reflecting on the past 25 to 30 minutes, you have given us so much information. You have shared with us personal things. In addition to all of this that I'm thinking, where were you 12 years ago? Like, where were you 12 years ago? Because I have two businesses, right? And a lot of times you don't think about that L.I.F.T strategy when it comes to it, but you do. So thank you again. And I've taken my notes and I really appreciate this.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad it was helpful.
Yes. So Clarissa says, yes, the TM symbol is good advice. Also, L.I.F.T is nice. This was definitely very helpful because it puts all these things into your mind where you can now create a checklist. Let me go down this checklist of all the things that I have, what I don't have, what I need to do. And now when they create that checklist, they can come to you and you can help them with the L.I.F.T strategy to go through.
Absolutely. That's what I do every day.
Okay.
This is what I do.
Right. So how can they get started with you? How can they get in contact with you? And I also shared that in the the replay, but go ahead and let the people know.
Okay, so I'm terrible with online social media presence. Like, that is not me. My team is like, listen, you got to get on social media. I'm not. I'm kind of like a one-on-one girl. But you can reach out to me. We can have a one-on-one. You can set up a strategy call with me at Your Legacy Wealth. And I want to make sure. So, Seneca, what I'm going to do is, if it's okay, I will send the contact information with you, and then you can share it with the group. The website is actually yourlegacywealth.com. And that is Legacy Wealth Financial Group. I think the contact information, and there should be a scheduling button out there. But what I would encourage you guys to do is just definitely go to the website, reach out to me. My phone number is out there. You can call me. We can talk. Let's just set something up. Get on my calendar. And there is a $50 booking fee. And I had to do that just because people were not showing up. And I just want to hold myself accountable to allow the space for people to share, and so that I can be of assistance and fully show up for them. And so it's just a bi-directional exchange. Now, that $50 is not something that I want to keep. It's just nominal. It's not punitive. But any service that is booked with me, that $50 is credited back to you. So it's not like you're losing it. You get it back once you schedule, or if you schedule a service with me. But that's why.
Okay, so yourlegacywealth.com, and there's a $50 fee to hold the consultation.
Right. Okay. But it gets credited back to you.
It's credited back to you. So that is to hold you accountable to time.
Because time you cannot get back. And all of our time is very valuable, it's very precious. And so, like I said, it's not punitive at all. It's just something that I had to do, because a lot of times people just wouldn't show up, and it would be someone else who really needed that time, but they couldn't get it because somebody else booked it, but that person didn't show up. And now, so it's just, it could be a negative ripple effect. So that's just more of a deterrent than punitive, I guess. And, but you understand that, right?
And this is a thing that this is why we're here, because so many business owners, they have consultations for free where they feel like the people aren't showing up, or they're not taking it seriously, or they show up late, or whatever it is, or they're no show, they don't even call, nothing at all. And then you're sitting there like waiting for them. Like you said, someone else could have booked. So definitely this is a strategy that she's just shared with us. If you didn't have a paid consultation fee, or you didn't have something like this is an idea for you to implement. So I thank you again so much for sharing with us, for being here. If you all don't know, TJ's in the network, so it's not hard to find her. If you missed how to contact her, you can literally just like come in the network and tag her, like tag TJ, and then she can go up and share her information with you. And that's what I love about the space, is you can interact and network right there.
Right. I will tell you this really quick. One of my team members said, told me something that I'm going to go ahead and implement with the fee. She said, TJ, if it's 15 minutes, sometimes people just want to get, they just kind of want to get something out, just kind of ask a quick question. Just do those 15 minutes for free. So I'm going to start putting time blocks. So if it's 15 minutes, I'll do a free 15 minutes just to kind of see what you're talking about, where you want to go, see if we're a good fit, if I can help. So I'm going to make that change, 15 minutes. But anything outside or over 15 minutes, then I might do a scaled fee. We'll see.
Okay. And that makes sense, because some people are coming with a question, right?
Yeah.
I have a question. And then there's the people who have 20 questions. So
right. So I want to be able to help everybody if I can. Yeah. 15 minutes free. No problem. It's all good.
Right. So that's amazing. That is amazing. So she is offering a free 15-minute consultation to you. Do y'all hear that? So definitely get on her calendar and get your business in order. I already have been talking to TJ about my business and getting my stuff together. So you guys do the same, so that you are, doing what you need to do to protect your intellectual property, protect your passion that you're putting out there into the world. And many of us are service-based entrepreneurs, so we don't think of this, because we think like product-based, but service-based entrepreneurs, we need to protect ourselves and make sure our things are in order as well. Even though we're just servicing, we still need to do that. So I thank you so much for being here and gracing us, your expertise. And I look forward to see what's next and what's coming up, and you know how to find us. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for allowing me to come out and talk to you all tonight. I'm so happy to be a part of the Conquer Network. It's been an amazing journey for me, and I look forward to continuing on and all that we have collectively and individually to create, because I'm sure there will be some cross collaborations here.
Absolutely. I'm sure of it too. Definitely. Because we're about to make money. That's what we're here
to do. And thank you, Clarissa, and thank you, Sherida, for joining. And your questions were awesome. And Seneca, let's do this again. I would love to kind of go a little bit deeper.
We have a part 2, because I know that you have some stuff coming out. I'm not going to announce it. I'm going to let you announce it. But yes, you will be back.
Definitely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And for those of you who have watched this till the end, definitely tune into the other sessions that we have coming up. We are going to have Vivian and Dr. Tracy of Flourish Media come on, and they're doing a 2-part. So you want to make sure you go ahead and RSVP for the 2 parts. They're doing a part 1 and a part 2. So they're doing separate sessions. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they're saying, as individuals about branding and marketing without burning out. Because we want to brand and market, but we don't want to be burnt out. So I definitely look forward to that. Go ahead and on the replay, comment. Any questions that you have, also comment. Anything you'd like to see us do in the Conquer Network, let us know. You all have a great night and conquer your best. Peace.